Today's conversation is sponsored by First Generation Capital Partners. If you're an accredited investor and you want to know about how we're helping other accredited investors keep more of their income, go to firstgencp.com/going long.
You're listening to the Going Long podcast with Billy Keels, the #1 podcast for long-distance real asset investing.
Welcome to the Going Long podcast. We're back once again to continue to help to educate you so you feel much more comfortable as well as confident investing beyond your backyard. And yes, I'm your host, Billy Keels, back once again for another solo episode. This was going to be super brief. But you know what? As it's super brief, I just want to say thank you so much for continuing to screenshot and tag us across LinkedIn and Instagram. It's really cool. And across other social media platforms. It's awesome. You're helping also for us to be able to attract other new Going Long family members, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. We continue to make more impact. So thank you for taking an active role in attracting more people to the podcast. And also too, you know what, if you've not had a chance to leave your honest written review, and I'm going to read one here pretty soon, and you want to have that read to people in over 40 countries around the world, which is actually pretty awesome. Thank you for continuing to do that. Just leave your honest written review as well as rating. It also helps to boost the podcast up in the charts and things like that. So if you've been thinking about it and you haven't done it yet, hey, look, we even have a little video here, and you can click the link and it will show you exactly what you need to do. So anyway, but speaking of which, I do want to read one of the reviews, an honest written review, and this comes from Derek Clifford, and it says, full of insights. Billy has a unique take on investing and offers listeners of the podcast some great insights to assist them on their real estate investing journey. Every episode is full of wisdom from people who know their stuff. Highly recommended. Well, thank you, Derek Clifford. Really, really appreciate that. Also, Derek was a fantastic guest. I think it's the same Derek Clifford. Really appreciate the words, and thank you for taking the time to leave an honest written review. So once again, you can check us out. Check out every single episode as well. Go to firstgencp.com/podcasts and check out every single episode. But let's get to today's kind of thought. Like the thing that I have had on my mind, the thing that I believe is another thing that is really, really important to consider as you are painting and putting together your investing destination. It's this concept, which is the importance of timing. Like timing is so important. It is so critical. And it's one of these things that I realized, and I'm just going to, I put timing, and I think about timing like the theory of the roller coaster, right? Because most people, maybe not you, because you're here and you recognize that there's lots of different investing vehicles, and you're using each one of these vehicles to your benefit so that you can get to your investing destination even sooner. But let me share something that's happened to me. I don't know if this has happened to you, but it may ring a bell. But this goes back to the importance of timing and the theory of the roller coaster. When I was growing up in Houston, I go back to Houston, Texas. There was a moment where we were living, and there was an amusement park, and this amusement park is called Astroworld, right? And I think it's still there. So Astroworld had all these amazing roller coasters, and so we would go to the Astrodome a lot, and so to watch baseball games with my dad and my little brother typically, and then Astroworld was right in front. And the thing is when I was younger, I really, really, really loved being able to go to Astroworld and being able to get on a roller coaster. I liked the roller coaster rides. I liked the highs. I liked the lows. I liked the drops in the super speed and every single thing. Like I would turn these corners really, really hard, and my neck would go to the left, and I'm shaking and screaming and all that kind of stuff. And it was fantastic because I was super young, right? I was really, really young. And in my 40s, I wanted to have that same experience for our kids, my wife and I. And so I'm thinking about now, we're here in Barcelona, and outside of Barcelona, there's a great place called Portaventura, and it's an amusement park as well. But the thing is I started recognizing, like in my 40s, when I get on these similar type of roller coasters and I go up and I go down and I go to the right and I go to the left, I start realizing that, number one, my head hurts and my stomach doesn't quite feel just as nice as it did when I was a young man in Houston, Texas. And also, when I'm going to the left and going to the right, the next day, my neck tends to hurt a little bit. And you're thinking, Billy, well, why are you even telling us this? Well, because it's the same type of roller coasters. It's the exact same type of experience. But timing, when I was younger, it did not hurt as much. As I've gotten older, the repercussions of those ups and downs and lefts and right definitely make a difference, which is why I call it the theory of the roller coaster. Because if I think about this in my investing career, something very similar happened. Because early on in my career, about 4 or 5 years out of my investing career, the dot-com bubble, the 2000 dot-com bubble happened, right? I've been working for probably 4 or 5 years. And then I lost some money. And you know what? I recuperated, didn't feel so bad. And actually my financial advisor was like, don't worry, you'll get the money back. And he was absolutely correct. And so that kept going until 2008. Well, you know what? In 2008, I'm still in my 30s, but things started to, I lost 33% of the value of my portfolio. It didn't feel so good. It didn't feel like it did, 8 years before. It started feeling in a way that I just did not like. Neck hurt a little bit, but you know what? I decided I wanted to get off of that roller coaster because it did not feel good. And I didn't want to wait any longer to figure out, hey, listen, what happens in my 40s or 50s or whatever the case may be. So I didn't want to do that. And in these years, I decided that that's a part of the roller coaster that I really don't want to be exposed to because I don't like the way that my head feels, that my stomach feels when I go left or right, my neck, any of that kind of stuff. So I decided to get off the roller coaster, because I had no control. But here's the thing also too, right? And I can only imagine if you're in your 50s or your 60s or your 70s or even more, like every single time the roller coaster goes down, especially, like it makes your head hurt. It makes your stomach hurt because it's really your livelihood. And I started realizing that I didn't want to put myself or my family in that kind of position. So I limited my exposure there very, very much. And one of the things that I wish I would have, like someone would have sat down and told me about is this one concept as well. Like timing is important, but also like imagine that you are in your 60s or 70s and you have $1 million in your retirement account, which is exposed to the Wall Street casino, which is kind of like the roller coaster we're talking about. So every single day you're sitting in front of the TV and you're watching either your Fox News or you're watching your CNBC, doesn't really matter, but you're watching the market, see what's going on. The thing is imagine you have this $1 million and one day the market goes, this is an example, right? But it's just to kind of give you the concept. One day you're watching the market and you've got this $1 million in your account and the market goes down 10%, or let's say it's a specific stock, but the market makes it easier. The market goes down 10%, your value goes down 10%. So you were at $1 million, you lost 10%. And so now you are at 900,000. Well, just like most people do quite frequently, either you're watching it on your phone every day or you're watching that Fox News, you're watching CNBC, and it goes up the next day. So you feel better, like the roller coaster ride. You went down and you went back up. Well, when it goes back up 10%, you think, okay, cool, I got all my money back. Well, let's do the math because usually you do the math and the math tells you what you want to do. And so you went from $1 million one day to the end of that day, you were at 900,000. Well, that lost 10%. And then you gained 10% the very next day. So you're thinking, wow, cool. The market went down 10%. Now it's back up 10%. So I'm cool. Well, the math on 900,000 times 10, 900,000 times 10% increase is 90,000. So if you add that 900,000 plus the 90,000, well, now you're back up to 990,000. But wait a second, 48 hours before you started at $1 million. There's a problem. You've just lost $100,000. Well, I never really was exposed to anyone sitting down and doing the math in the roller coaster ride and how it feels and the importance of timing. I want to share that with you because timing is everything. And so once again, it goes back to, I realized being clear on the investing destination that I wanted to get to, understanding the different vehicles that were there, how much control I wanted, how much risk I wanted to be able to take, but also the importance of timing and the vehicles that you're investing in and how much control you have over them, how much understanding you have of them, because I started realizing that this was really, really important as well to me. So it's just an example. Talk about the roller coaster rides, talk about timing because timing is super important. So anyway, we talk about a lot of these different concepts. Also, too, one of the things I mentioned that probably most of the time is that, as I started looking at these different vehicles, there was one in particular that really, really helped me. It helped me understand the difference between passive income, active income, and how to use a very specific vehicle to help me as an accredited investor, someone who was tired of paying a lot of money to Uncle Sam and being able to find consistent returns and keep more of my money. If you want to find out more about something like that, go to firstgencp.com/going long. That way it's going to help you also recognize the importance of timing for you and how you can take back more control over your life, get closer to the destination that you want for your investing. And this piece of education, this very brief guide can help to be a part of that. So I really appreciate you being here. Continue to come back. while you're sharing today's conversation with other people, share it with family, share it with friends, or you're downloading and reading the guide. I'll be here preparing for the next solo episode. So until then, go out and make it a great day. And thank you very much. Trust that you enjoyed today's conversation. And once again, today's conversation was sponsored by First Generation Capital Partners. If you're an accredited investor and want to find out more about how we're helping accredited investors to gain their personal freedom even faster, go to firstgencp.com/going long.